Hi, I'm Seamless, and today I want to talk to you about making excuses for your tracks and why you shouldn't do that. This video is brought to you by Cymatics, who once again has a bunch of free stuff to give people. This time they're giving you 25 clean EDM kicks, is what this pack is called. And I'm clicking on stuff even though you can't see it because this is a talking to you video, which means I don't have FL up. Anyway, neat stuff. If you'd like to have those free kicks, please click on the link in the description of this video with the word Cymatics in there somewhere, and it'll take you where you need to go. It's good stuff. Anyway, excuses. What do I mean by excuses? Well, excuse, you're excusing certain things about your track and that kind of thing. You're basically trying to make excuses for why you think your track is bad. When you're showing it to somebody else and you tell them things, you tell them things to manage expectations. It's usually stuff like, oh, it's a whip, or it's a demo, or it's unmastered, or it's unfinished. It's an experiment, that kind of, all these things, which are true, they're not necessarily wrong about your track, but it creates a particular problem in the listener's point of view. And what happens is that if you didn't tell them that, they would just listen to it and they would form their own opinions, and that's just whatever's happening. But if you tell them it's a whip, if you tell them it's unfinished, if you tell them that there's still things to be done, or any of that, then it puts them in a new mindset. It puts them in the mindset now where they are looking for problems. They are looking for why the track is bad. That's what they're looking for now. And it has just a very immediately just bad effect on sort of the reception of this track. And I had a very poignant lesson on this when I was actually working with BT that one time. We made a track and we sent it off, and in the message where I said to this person, I said that it was a whip. Now, this may or may not have been the thing that caused, to be rejected, but consider that if you tell somebody this, that you're not looking for the problems, if you were not told this, and that you operate on the assumption that this is the finished track, certain things, like you could listen to a moment in the track that you think is a whip, and you're just kind of like, it could change, it has movables, variable, may or may not be on purpose, and this could be a mistake. You could think of everything as being a mistake. However, when it's done, when a person is sending you something that they say is finished, and they say this is what this track is, then you listen to that exact same thing that was a problem when there was a whip, and you think to yourself, okay, well, this was on purpose. They did this. They chose to do this. They signed off on this when they finished this track, and so that means that every part of what's happening are decisions that they made, fully cognizant of it being done. Versus when it's in whip mode, all the same stuff. It could be the exact same file, and now suddenly it's all in flux. It's all things that are subject to change, and it just think less of it as a result. You're basically less confident in your own music, and so are they as a result. And that's just only bad. It's only bad for you. Other kinds of So I had a thing for this. There was the excuses. Oh yeah, the one that really annoyed me that actually doesn't happen very often anymore. At least not in ways that I see it. But people try to excuse how shitty they are by saying how young they are, or how little time they've been producing. They're like, oh, it's pretty good for being a year in, or it's pretty good for being a 12-year-old kind of thing. They're trying to present that as being look, I know it's crap, but look how young I am. This is pretty good for being how young I am. And if you didn't know that, maybe even if you agree with it, it'd be wow, it's actually pretty cool that you're a 12-year-old that made this pretty okay track for that, degree. I still would never buy that piece of music, and it would never compete with finished professional music. But yeah, okay. If you hadn't been told that, you would have been like, this is ass. This is the worst, man. Do work more kind of thing. So that's why they do that. And, as a marketing strategy, they may or may not have merit, but if purely you're going after someone making an honest representation of your work, you don't want to tell them anything really. You just want to be hey, you want to listen to this track, and then get what they want out of that. And then, after that, you can maybe tell them some shit. But while listening to it, you're only going to make things worse for you, because any amount of excusing you do is just another level of them just being looking for more things that are wrong, instead of just focusing on the track being good or bad, and based on their own just opinions, that kind of thing. And then there's one big one that I used to do, which is when you send someone a track and then you tell them to skip the track. You tell them to not listen to certain parts. Like, if you're trying to show someone a certain part of a track because you want to show them a certain part of the track, that's whatever. You could be a bit more helpful by just sending them only that part of the track. But if you send them the whole thing, or like a larger part of a thing with other things in it, then you need to stand behind that. You need to stand behind what you've given them. You don't want to just dismiss other parts of your tracks. Because I used to do that, and like I realized it wasn't so much that like I valued their time as being like, hey, you don't need to listen to that. You can just go and do whatever. It was more like when I was listening to them listening to it, suddenly I was just like, wait, this is boring. This is really boring. And then like you just be like, okay, well, just skip that part, and then you forget about it. And like, no, you shouldn't be okay with having parts of your tracks that you think are bad. Like, if you think that part of it is bad, do it until you don't think it's bad. Do it until it's worth listening to, until you're like, you want people to listen to it because every second of the track is something that you actually are okay with. Like, you don't get complacent with the idea that like, they're just gonna skip the intro and go to the drop. Don't do that. Like, that's super self-destructive. I don't even need to explain why. It just is. And not only that, but then the second you tell someone to skip parts of the song, that they again now have a lesser opinion of the song because you have given them reason to have a lesser opinion of it. It is you have excused something, and now they're looking for the thing that you excused. And so like maybe something that they thought was perfectly fine was now going to be something that they're going to look at and be like, that could have been better. And that's the whole way they're going to think of your track, is that could have been better, as opposed to being like, that's what this track was. It was a track. It tracked, kind of thing. So basically, literally anything you can say about, like a track that manages expectations in any way is probably going to be a bad deal. Even things you might think are good, like people just being like, "Yo, this is the greatest thing in the world." Like, actually, this killed me. Actually, like when I first started producing, I did hip hop, and I don't know if this is still true because I kind of ignored the scene for so long, but like 10 years ago, I don't know, but like everybody in hip hop was just so full of themselves. And like I'm pretty sure that was just part of like the persona of who they were, and that's how they marketed themselves. That's just how the scene was like. But it was so annoying to work with because everyone was just like, yo, I'm the best. This is the best. What I've done is the best. Here's the best. Listen to the best. Like they all thought everything. I don't know if they actually thought that, but they presented it and they certainly said that everything they did was the best. And when it like very clearly wasn't, it made me think they were assholes. It made me think everything about that was like, dude, you're just lying to me. Like a lot. It's just, and you could there's a difference between like, you know, having faith in your work and then just saying objectively wrong things. Like nothing that anyone ever does is the best. Like quantifiably. That's never going to be the thing. It's hard. Everything about that is subjective. It cannot be objectively better than anybody else's for there's a variety of reasons. Some things could be like extremely small cases of how things could be better or worse in one thing, one way or another. But everything, all of that, is just opinions. So you can't prove that. So you can't claim that anything you do is the best ever. I sure as fuck don't. Like. And if I wanted to say something like that, what I would say is that this is the best that I've done. That, like, I like this the best. You might not even like it better than some other stuff. Sure, God knows people do like some of my older stuff a lot better than my newer stuff. But, like, I like my newer stuff a lot better than my older stuff. And I think it's great. But, like, I can say that. I can say, I think it's great. I think it's the best. I think whatever. I think. And that immediately qualifies as being a true statement because it doesn't rely on objective fact, but rather the objective fact of my own subjective opinion. God, sometimes I wish people would just like take a logic class, just one logic class. It would improve the quality of discourse on the internet a lot. Anyway, back to the original point. Don't make excuses for your track. Don't do it. Don't tell them it's a whip. I mean, that's actually a much better marketing thing anyway. It's like whenever you're interacting with anybody, don't tell them that it can be changed or that it could be better or that like or whatever. Like stand the fuck by what you've made. And that kind of confidence will project, and they will be as confident in it as you are. They might not like it more, but that's, you know, you can't control for that. But you can control for not making it worse by making excuses. So don't do that. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Check out the Cymatics link. You get your free 25 kicks and that kind of thing. Click the link in the description of this video. It's one right up the top. Sponsored content, good times. Yeah, I did say the questions thing. If you do have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as usual, have a nice day. Oh, my EP is recording. available for pre-order. How long was that frozen there? I just looked at my video. Damn, that's yeah. Well, my EP is available for pre-order. You can, if you pre-order it, you will get one of the tracks immediately. Also available for pre-order is the deluxe edition, which will be all the projects for all the songs. Good times. You can check that out in the store link, which is in the description of my video, as this is the description of all my videos, and it'll tell you good things. Yeah, sure hope this video isn't broken.